Hey everyone, it's Megan Weeks. Welcome back to another episode of Wine and Design. In today's video, as you can see from the title, I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes of how I create custom, beautiful proposals that actually help me land new clients. So before I jump into showing you guys how I actually create the proposals, I did want to share with you how I send these proposals and how I organize everything in my business. I use Dubsado as my project management platform. I really love it. I've really gotten the hang of it. I'm all about finding the best platforms that will work efficiently for your business, but I also feel like we can get so hung up on dabbling in all the different ones and not actually just doing the work. So I'm a big believer in just doing it, sticking with what works, and not feeling the need to constantly change it if it's working for you. So Dubsado is my preferred platform. That is what I use right now, and I actually have a new course coming soon all about Dubsado with my really good friend who is a Dubsado expert. She's certified in it. She's amazing. So definitely keep your eyes out in the next 3 or so months because we're working on that right now as we speak, and I'm just so excited to share that with you all. But before I jump into showing you guys behind the scenes of actually how I create a real proposal that I send to a real potential client, I really just wanted to share with you guys that I have a freebie you can download right below, all about canned emails that you can use in your business. And what I mean by canned emails is automated emails that go out to your clients for payment reminders, for scheduling reminders, all of those kind of mundane emails that we don't like to write every single time they come up. So I created a full document of emails that you can literally copy and paste into your Dubsado account or any other account, but it does work the best for Dubsado because I actually have the smart fields already in those canned emails for you. So when you copy and paste it, it's going to add your client's name, add your business name in the places that it's meant to. So definitely go check out that freebie. It's down below and it might not be available forever. So definitely go grab it and let me know what you think about it. I'm super excited to jump into the proposal creation. So I'm gonna show you guys behind the scenes of Dubsado's new building system for actually designing your proposals and making them look branded to your business. And I love this feature because now I can make it look really pretty, really custom and nice, which is so important in the creative businesses because you want to make sure that you're making a really good first impression based off the visuals of what you're presenting for your business. So I have actually received a few compliments from my previous clients on the way these proposals looked and how they were sent and how everything just felt really smooth and professional. So that's just a little bit of motivation for you to actually make sure your proposals look really nice because that can actually help you land your clients. So without further ado, let's hop on over to my screen and I'm going to show you guys how I build and design a custom proposal. Alright you guys, I wanted to show you where you even go in Dubsado to create the templates. So I'm going to be showing you guys specifically the proposal templates. But as you can see, they have contract templates, sub-agreement templates, questionnaires, proposals, and lead captures. So we're going to be focusing on the proposal side. So these are ones that I've created in the past and the one that I'm using currently. But I'm just going to show you guys from scratch how to create this. So you're going to go over to proposals, click the plus sign, and we are just going to start with a completely blank canvas. So I'm going to title this, and the titles are important to actually name what you want it to be because once you have those buttons embedded on the emails, it's going to show the title of whatever you name this. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to do test proposal, and now we are going to see how you can drop an element anywhere to get started. So you're going to want to make sure though before we do this that you have your legacy mode turned off, I believe, or yeah, turned off. If you turn it on, you won't be able to use like the custom fonts and codes that you're using. So definitely make sure that's off because you're going to want to upload the fonts that you're going to want to use. So let me make sure that my fonts are. So we're going to need to actually paste the fonts in here. So I'm going to go grab that code and show you guys what it looks like, and we'll paste it in the CSS. Okay, so I have my code. Now I'm going to paste it in here, and it's a really long piece of code. I can leave this in the description box so you guys can use it yourselves and just add in the font upload and files and all that. I'll actually just link the description on how to do this because there's quite a few steps and that could be its own video. But I have my code in here now, so I'm going to go back and now we should be able to see it in here. Let me double check. So once we start adding the elements, I'll show you guys how to find that specific font. So we're gonna go over to the elements area, and in here you'll see containers, all these different options. So it's kind of like drag and drop building. So I'm gonna let's do a container to start, and we can even do an image. And I'll show you how to make it full width actually. Click image and we'll do this one. I'm gonna click on the container and this is where you can make it full width and really play around with how that looks. So I'm actually gonna delete the image in here. We're gonna click on the container again and you can add an image this way. So it's the entire background. And you can even do bottom padding, top padding. So let's add 200 and 200. That looks pretty nice. And you can even do a background opacity. So that's kind of a nice option. You want to make sure you change this color to whatever your brand color is. I'm just going to do really dark gray. And now it'll be like a darker opacity. So that's one way you can do it. And let's actually just play around with this design. So now I'm going to click this element, add a text box, and this is where now you can see the code for the fonts that I added. So these are my brand fonts. So this is perfect that the code worked. And then in here you can change the paragraph format if you want it to be maybe your heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4. And then the normal font is just my body font. So let's do heading 3 and we will just play around with the text in here. So usually for proposals, for the very beginning, I like to make it personalized to the client. So I'll say something like proposal for, and this is where you can add a smart field. So it automatically generates your client's full name or their company name. So you're going to want to make sure when you are bringing new clients into your Dubsado that you have all their information so that it can pull the correct name or company name. So I'm going to do full name and we can center this now. There we go. And then I'm also going to add another container and delete this background image. Don't want an image, so let's see. Oops. Well, that just deleted it. But basically, if I don't want the image, I should have just done reset, which would be that, but I screwed up, that's fine. I'm gonna just play around with the color here, and the reason I'm doing this is I would love to have my logo up top, just so it's like branded for me. So I'm gonna remove the padding, and now we are going to want to add another image and pull in my logo. So although it's not crazy amount of customization with this, you still get to do a lot more with this new Dubsado visual building option, so it is kind of a nice feature. So I'm going to add a little bit of padding on that. There we go. So now we have proposal for client name, and here you could also add maybe things like the start date potentially. So let's do, or you could even have like a client description of like what their business is about. But I personally like to have a template that I can use for multiple clients, so you can just like duplicate and not have to redesign a proposal all the time. It's kind of nice to just have one that works for all service types, all clients, and you can just, it'll have those smart fields to generate their name. So I'm just going to do estimated start date. Let's do that. because a lot of times they want to know when they're going to be able to start working with you. So we can put, let's see, project, start, and there we go. So this is just an example of how you can lay it out. You could do estimated start date, project, type maybe. You want to do something like that. So it'll have their full name, when you can start, what you're doing for them. Let's see. Project title. So you could do that, and that'll pull in whatever you named this specific client's project. So make sure that you're being aware of like what you're naming the project, what you're naming your proposals, because all of that matters in Dubsado. Okay, so now we have that. So for this container, this is where, honestly, I don't really love doing 2 columns because I've noticed it's really difficult to read on mobile. So I do recommend trying to keep it as simple to read and view as possible. So definitely keep the mobile side in mind when you're doing this, but I'm going to make this container full width as well. And this is where we could add potentially something a little bit about your business. So I would do a text box, and I would just add in a little bit of information on why working with you, why they should decide to work with you. And then I'm going to make this padding a little more, 100, and we'll name this why. Let's just name it Megan Weeks Design Co. Okay, and perfect. So we'll have that there. Now we can do a section all about the client. So we want to share a little bit about you and what you can provide, but we really want this proposal to be based around what you're going to provide for your clients. So let's make sure to do that. So I'm going to make this container a different background color. Let's do something like, actually, I'm going to duplicate this because I like that like eggshell color. And let's bring it down. And you could actually potentially color this background. So let's do that. And I'm gonna go find that brown color that I use because I want to use it and I'm being particular about it. So let's grab this and we'll change the background color to the brown. Okay, so now this is where I will add information about the client. So in my experience, it's kind of nice to have information on what the client does about their business, maybe a little bit of the mission statement that you pulled from your initial conversation with them, and then also maybe a little bit about the project and what you're going to do to move them forward. So to organize this, I would write out client business and actually I'm going to pull over the one I recently created because it's going to be really helpful to kind of reference how to organize the proposal and what I include in it. Okay, so this is an actual proposal that I sent my client. As you can see, I did the 2 columns and I didn't realize that it was not mobile friendly until I pulled it up on my mobile phone and I was like, oh my god, this is really like messy, but I'm pretty sure she accessed from her desktop, so I'm not stressed about it. But moving forward, I did change this to just 1 column. But this is an example of how like an actual live proposal looks for one of my potential clients. So this is what I mean by the client information. So I named it client objective, and I named out what they do, the goal of what we're going to do working together, the project estimated start date, and the timeline. So I like to have a little bit of information listed out like this just so they know exactly what I'm going to be helping them with. And then if you scroll down, this is just a little bit of projects I've worked on in the past. I actually handpick these when I'm designing the proposal because I want whatever portfolio images I have to kind of match the overall vibe and aesthetic they want to go for, because if they see that I can do what they want, they're going to most likely choose to work with me. So I'll show you guys how to kind of mimic this and create it from scratch. So if I come back over here, I actually can just copy this and show you guys how it looks. So I'll show you how to do it with the smart fields. And we are going to want to pull this color for the fonts. Oops. So let's go over to the colors and we will add that in here. So client objective. Now this is where you actually would have to manually write this every time you are creating the proposal. So definitely keep that in mind. That is one part that's not automated for me. However, these ones are, well, these two you'd have to manually write. This one is where you can have a smart field. So if I go in here, project start, that'll pull in the estimated start date that you set on the actual project side. And then the timeline is something I just have set here since it's similar for every client. I don't really need to change that every time. So let's align it. Okay, so now to get the full width images like this, you are just going to want to do a container with 3 image options and make sure that container width is full width if you like that style. And then we're going to add images for each one. So let's do it. And don't worry, I'll make that full width in just a second. And let's do one more image. Okay, so now we're going to want the content width to also be full width, large like that. So that is kind of how I do it. I like to have a little bit about my business, a little bit about the objective of the project, example projects, and then I also will include testimonials underneath that so that they can see some client reviews. And then now that we give them all the helpful information, that is when I will then include a package price. So one nice thing about Dubsado is that you can pull this in and you can choose all of the packages that you have in your Dubsado. So when I first started my Dubsado, I did not organize this properly, and I did new packages for each client. But what I recommend is having like set packages so you're not having to scroll through a million different packages. It makes it so much easier. For my privacy, I'm not going to click on this because you'll see all of my specifics of what I offer, but that is where you would click that and it would load in all the information of the package that you provide. So it's kind of nice. It'll list all of the bullet points of like what's included in the package. So definitely add that because they're going to want it. That's the whole point of the proposals, to see the price and what's included. So I include that. And then I want to show you guys something really cool that I actually had to code in here, but it's really easy once you see how I did it. So let me go find that real quick and I will show you. Okay, so this is definitely a little more of an advanced kind of customization. This is actually live how it looks on a proposal that I sent out, but I like to list out what's going to happen during each phase. So we have like the discovery and direction, logo design revisions, packaging and all up. I have all of the timeline listed out. And the way I did this was I actually found this code on w3schools.com. It's a CSS code and it's really nice because if you go try yourself, you can actually play around with this code and add in the specifics of like your colors and your fonts. So if you do this, it'll change it over here and you can just copy this and you would paste it by going to HTML block and pasting it in here. So I'll show you if I just copy this entire thing over, it's going to copy over the blue and it won't look like my branding, but this is just how you can do it. So you won't be able to see it until you preview. So to quickly preview, you can click on the preview button and there we go. Now it's all in here. So it's kind of a cool, awesome option if you want to do some additional coding and make it really custom and fun. I do like having this because I feel like they want to know what's going to happen throughout the project. And then you'll have to kind of play around with the colors to remove the color up top here. because that's like a background color in the code, but you can totally play around with how that looks. So now let's see. Yeah, so that was like the background color. So it takes a little bit of understanding CSS and like which areas to edit, which areas you leave, but I'll leave this resource down below too in case you want to add a timeline to your proposal as well. Now, another thing I like to do is add a step-by-step next process. So I'm going to make a full width container, and what I would do is have like step 1 or like next steps to take after the proposal, after they've reviewed it. So you're going to do step 1, and let's change this to that. And let's do step 2, and we'll do a step 3. So I like to have this here because sometimes they don't know like what to do next. Like they see this beautiful proposal, but they're like, okay, now what? So you're going to want to list out step 1. You're going to click select underneath the package if you want to move forward, or I give them the option to schedule another call with me to discuss the proposal in detail. So you can leave a link to your call link. And then step 2 is you would, for my business, they would pay the deposit, sign the contract, and they'll be set in my calendar. Step 3 would be me creating their portal and their timeline and keeping an eye on their inbox. So sometimes these steps change for me if I do change my business process, but I like to have listed out what to do next steps to take. Make it as clear as possible for your clients so that you don't lose them, because if they're confused on this, they might just click out of it and be like, I didn't know what to do. So make sure you have it listed out what exactly they do next so that you can land this client as soon as you send the proposal over. So that is how I like to do it. It's really fun to kind of customize your proposals, make it match your website, make it match your branding. And I love the fact that when it's all said and done, you can even go to settings here, include the invoice and include the contract. And then when you go to preview, it'll have them all up top there. So proposal, contract, invoice, makes it really nice, seamless, all in one place, and ultimately easier for the client. So that is all about custom proposals on Dubsado. I really love the platform for the features that it provides like this, and I also just feel like it keeps everything so organized for me. I have workflows set up so it's automated when they need a reminder to fill out the proposal, when they need a reminder if the proposal is going to expire. It gives them all of those automated emails, which saves me so much time in my business. So if you want to see a video on the workflows, let me know, because it is so helpful and game changer for my business. I want to make sure you guys get that freebie that I have down below, all about the canned emails that you can use in your business and to send to your potential clients. It's so helpful to have automated emails to also save you time. I've been kidding you guys, the other week I timed myself doing my emails, doing my project management, doing all the business tasks, and it took me hours and hours. And it wasn't until I started implementing those workflows, the automations and things like that, that saved me so much time. And not only time, but the headache of figuring out what to write each time. Whereas I can just customize it a tiny bit and have something already pre-written for me to just feel free to send, and it's so much easier. It saves me so much time. So definitely go snag that freebie while it's here. Guys, so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful and that you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did by giving it a thumbs up, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, more videos about lifestyle, graphic design, all the creative things. Definitely subscribe and stick around because I'd love to connect. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.